Good afternoon folks, and welcome to another flight simulator video, and welcome aboard this Cessna 172 SP Skyhawk, which is the star of today's show. I'm just going to flick to the cockpit. So on the ground here at London City, and what we're going to do in this video is we're going to take off from here at London City and we're going to fly along the Thames, and we're going to spot some landmarks. So this is a little game for you viewers watching as well, because I want you to spot the landmarks. Now the three main landmarks we're going to be looking for are actually there's going to be four. We're looking for the Millennium Dome, Tower Bridge, the London Eye, and the Houses of Parliament. So once we've spotted all of them landmarks, I'm then going to get the aircraft pointed back towards London City and I'm going to land. So this video is going to be a two-parter. So part one is what you're watching now. We're going to take off from here in London City. We're going to climb to a safe altitude. We're going to look for these landmarks, and then I'm going to end the video while I get the aircraft pointed back towards the airport, and then once I'm on approach I will film part two and I'll film the landing. We'll taxi to a gate and we'll park up here at London City. So I'm just going to prep the aircraft for departure now. I've already contacted air traffic control and got our taxi clearance. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tune into the tower. This will save us time when we get to the runway. So I'll just show you here. So this was an hour. The yellow text was the pilot voice, and the green is the response. So Cityground Cessna, Mike Bravo Mark Echo Sierra with Quebec. Request taxi for takeoff. Touch and go. Air traffic control responded. Cessna Hotel Bravo Mike Echo Sierra, taxi to and hold short of runway 28 via taxiway Charlie, runway 10 Kilo Lima, contact tower on 118.4 when ready. So we responded, taxiing, hold short runway 28 using taxiway Charlie, runway 10 Kilo Lima, Cessna Mike Echo Sierra. And I've just tuned the tower so we can get moving to the runway. So just come down here, these are all the lights down at the end. Let me move the joystick just so you can have a look. So we've got fuel pump, beacon light. So the beacon can actually come on. The taxi light can come on. And that is us ready for departure. I'm just going to press F7. We'll have one notch of flaps. And now we are ready to taxi to the active. I'm just going to swing around here. Oh, it's a bit laggy today. Very quick taxi, because here's runway 28. But what I am going to have to do is backtrack. So I'm going to backtrack along the runway and then turn around at the end. This is a common procedure for small aircraft. Sometimes these airports don't have taxiways that stretch the whole length of the airfield, so sometimes we have to use the runway to taxi along. You can see right at the end of the runway there's a turnaround point. A bit pointless really, I don't know why it wanted us to. In case you're wondering what that grey thing is in front of us, that is actually part of the river. That is water beside us. I'm not sure whether in real life that would be docklands or boat houses or anything like that, I'm not too certain. Just come up to the Hold Short line here. And we will turn off the taxi lights. We'll switch the landing lights on and we'll turn on the strobe lights. And now we will get our takeoff clearance.
City Tower, Cessna Hotel Bravo Mike Echo Sierra, ready for touch and go at runway 28. Cessna Hotel Bravo Mike Echo Sierra, clear for takeoff, runway 28, touch and go, left traffic approved. Clear for takeoff, runway 28, Cessna Mike Echo Sierra.
Just going to make sure the heading bug is actually set correctly. So we're ready for takeoff. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go rolling start really. So what I mean by rolling start is I'm just going to taxi onto the runway, and then once we've straightened up, I'm just going to apply full power instead of stopping. But then again, I might actually do the takeoff from the outside of the aircraft. We should have enough speed now, so if I gently pull back. Let's get it airborne. The wheels don't retract on this aircraft, as with many light aircraft they remain stationary. I'm just going to keep the flaps extended for the moment just to help us climb. Anyone who's watching who lives in London, you might be able to recognise some landmarks surrounded by the airport. I believe, I'm just going to quickly turn to the left, but I believe There's our first landmark ahead of us. The Millennium Dome. Just going to press F5 now, just to reduce the flaps. And we are right, so there's our first landmark. Millennium Dome, or the O2 Arena as it's also named, the London O2. That is where the 25th anniversary stage production of Les Miserables was performed, featuring such amazing actors as Alfie Boe, who played Jean Valjean. Nick Jonas appeared in it, playing the role of Marius. You had Ramin, who played Enjolras. Very good performance. So we've just flown over the Millennium Dome, so what I'm going to do is just follow the Thames. It is a bit laggy. I've got the graphics turned up a little bit for this to try and help capture the landmarks a little bit easier. Oops, it's a bit abrupt. I don't know about you viewers, but I can see our second landmark ahead of us, Tower Bridge. Classic children's song, London Bridge is Falling Down. I do believe that this was the very bridge that they were referring to in this song. Then again, I could be wrong. You can see it just ahead there. That is Tower Bridge. I remember going on a trip to London in 2012, actually, when the year of the Olympics, London Olympics, and I went on a river cruise, and they actually had the Olympic rings hanging from Tower Bridge. What we did, we got on the boat up by the London Eye and sailed downriver towards Tower Bridge. Then we turned around and came back. You can see St Paul's Cathedral as well down there. That was another landmark. I do believe that HMS Belfast, also the naval ship, is located on the riverbank. Sorry, not the riverbank, the Thames, but I'm not too certain on whereabouts it is. I'm just trying to swoop down a bit. There we go. The only thing I don't like about the Cessna, I'm just going to turn to the left. There is the London Eye ahead of us, and across the way there you've got Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. There's Big Ben right there. We've also got Battersea Power Station, I believe that is ahead of us. I'm just going to apply full power again, because I've decided what I might do is I might, if I can find it, land at Heathrow, because I know that Heathrow is not very far. I'm just going to press the Z key and see if the autopilot will actually climb the aircraft away for us. It'd be very interesting if I could make this video a one-parter, wouldn't it? but I somehow don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. Take autopilot off now. Fly it myself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn back now and see if we can fly back to London City. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to land in the direction that we took off from, which obviously realistically you wouldn't be allowed to do. But however, this is a simulator and there's no other aircraft, so I could more or less do this. It'll make it a one-part video, make it a long video, but then again, when it comes to uploading it, I haven't got to upload two parts. So all I know is the runway is in the direction of those tall skyscrapers you can see just there, next to the aircraft's right hand wheel. So if I more or less fly in that direction and then do a quick right hand turn, we should be parallel with the runway. Just going to press F7 again. We'll just have one notch of flaps for landing. Now obviously you can see the aircraft's instinct there is to climb because we're still on quite high power. So I've had to reduce the throttle just a tiny bit to prevent us from climbing. Zoom the Kindle in there. You can see Tower Bridge down there again to our left. Park Rock, you can just about make it out, I think. Millennium Dome. This video is already nearly 18 minutes long, so I do apologise about that, viewers. That's why I just decided I'm going to go for it and land it in the opposite direction. Quick turn to the right. Just want to try and keep those buildings within shot. You can see the runway over there. That is London City Airport where we took off from. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to land that way. Press F7 once more, look. That has extended our flaps a little bit more. No rude intentions with saying the word flaps. This is a family channel, viewers. Let's keep it clean, shall we? I know I'm intending to. So for any non-aircraft enthusiasts out there, what the role of wing flaps on an aircraft is to increase lift and drag. So obviously the flaps are deployed upon takeoff, which helps the aircraft get into the air a lot quicker, and they also on landing help to slow it down. Now we'll be landing on flaps full with this because this aircraft has got no reverse thrust, so once we touch down on the runway it will rely on the flaps and the brakes in order to slow it down. You can see we're a little bit high up, so I'm going to press F8 and that will bring the flaps down to full. Just going to idle the power so we can sort of coast it a little bit. Obviously there's no one else in the back of this aircraft, we're flying it solo. So you might think that's a bit of a nosedive going on there. But it doesn't matter as you're the only person in the aircraft and it's controlled. Ideally we would have to circle the airport and land from that direction, the end of the runway there, but that would just take too long. So for the purpose of this video I just thought I would land from this direction. So this patch of water here is actually a great visual point to line up with the runway. You can see the PAPI lights there, PAPI, Position Approach Path Indicator. These lights will turn white when you are indeed in line. You can see we're a little bit offline with the runway, that's why they've gone red. So what I'll do just before touchdown is I will excuse me, I'll just give a quick and nifty turn to the right to line us back up, which I'm doing here. Excuse me. I tried to hold it in but I couldn't. Ignore messenger. It's a bit worrying. I had to flare the aircraft just to keep it from dropping at the moment. Because really you're not supposed to land until you've crossed the runway threshold, which is those 4, 6 actually they're horizontal lines, but no, we wasn't, but we cheated because we can. We'll just pretend it was an emergency landing, even though it wasn't, it was perfectly controlled. I'm just going to turn here. Just going to stop here while we can get our I'll contact the ground. That's a view from the tower. Request taxi to parking. So just turn the landing lights off. I'll turn the taxi light back on. Turn the strobes off, and we shall retract the flap. So I'll just press F5. So where are we going? Turn on progressive taxi. And we will taxi to the parking area. Obviously, in reality, Cessnas are privately owned aircraft. They're also used for training purposes. I have a friend who goes to Birmingham Airport. He once had a flying lesson in a Cessna 172. It just looks like we're just going up here. Apply a bit of brakes for the turn. Yeah. I'll just try and park it on the line. overshot a little bit. That doesn't really matter. Really, the front wheel should be parked on that horizontal line there. If it were a regional or commercial jet or something, I would make sure that it was parked like that. So we've arrived on stand. I'll turn the taxi lights off. The navigation lights can remain on. And by pressing Control Shift F1 I can turn off the engine. And Shift E opens the door. So welcome back to London City. I really hope you enjoyed that small flight. So we managed to see quite a few landmarks there. Let me know in the comments how many you spotted out, or if you spotted any more that I might not have been aware of. Feel free to mention in the comments there. So I hope you enjoyed that video. So I'm going to go now and upload this. And while this is uploaded, I'm actually going to fly this Cessna down to Birmingham. So I'm actually going to do a domestic flight in it from London to Birmingham. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There's quite a few of these flight simulator videos now. And to a very certain person, if you were watching this video, Tina, hope you enjoyed watching that. Maybe it will change your mind about going on a plane, now that you can see how, you know, how simple flying really is. Maybe you'd want to give it a try. And if I can fly a plane and without crashing, you've definitely got no worries. So I'm going to end it there because we're coming up upon 24 minutes and I'm not going to stand here rabbiting. So I will bid you a good day.